All right, now we're on to Shulk from Xenoblade Chronicles. This one's obviously another human character, and so I'm gonna struggle a little bit here. Full disclosure. Um, However, this is how we get better. So, for those of you new to the channel, the goal is to draw every Super Smash Bros. Character before the game comes out, which is now only uh, days away, and so there's been a lot of work trying to complete it all. But after that point, I'd like to take some time to really work on the human body and figures and things like that. Because I think that will be super, super awesome. So, anyways, Shulk here, he is from Xenoblade Chronicles. He is a pretty cool character. I've never played Xenoblade Chronicles. I have lots of friends that have, and they totally adore the game. Um, but I haven't. But I like Shulk in Smash Brothers. I think he is a fun character to have, and the fact that he has his um, whatever arts, whatever they're called, I think is a pretty cool thing because it makes it so he can be a heavier hitting guy, a faster guy, a slower guy, a stronger guy, higher jumping guy. I think that's a really cool. It's a really cool mechanic that you don't see a lot, and I think that's probably in my mind the coolest. I love it when characters are really innovative and different, and I've appreciated that they have really taken the effort to make innovative, cool characters all along the way. Um, I was thinking recently about how there have been a lot of more innovative characters recently, right? With the Belmonts, right? They've got this whip that's super long, or you've got Mega Man who shoots instead of. Oh man, we're going full on anime there. I'm going to take that back. Um, you got Mega Man who shoots instead of attacks, and you've got um, these cool like third party character ideas that I think are innovative and cool. But as you kind of think back, it's awesome that Nintendo's been doing that all along. Actually, they've been perfecting this thing uh, and adding new and different characters since the beginning. Right? Like I was thinking about all the way back till when Yoshi was in the game. Uh, that was a really different thing to have Yoshi have like just the two jumps, and if you hit up B, he throws an egg. I remember at first I was like, "Oh my gosh, I hate this character because he can't jump. I'm expecting another jump out of him, but he doesn't give me another jump." And and that was obviously, a little hard. But then when you get used to it, he's a great character, and he's got some fantastic aerial moves, um, and he's a fun character to use, and so he was just very innovative and unique from the very get go. You've got characters like Pichu who hurt themselves, and you've got other characters along the way that just are really quite different. Your Rosalinas, your ice climbers, your um, I don't know, other characters like that, all the way up to now like Piranha Plant and other things. I mean, it's just they have been innovative since the very beginning, and I guess I would expect nothing less from Nintendo itself because They are an innovative powerhouse, and I appreciate it. I love seeing innovative things taking form, and that's actually the goal of my YouTube channel here is to make uh, what's in people's heads a reality. I think that is such a an awesome thing to fight for, and now we've got technology and the ability that anyone can make the things in their head come to life, and so I'm pretty passionate about that, and I want to kind of show you guys along the way what that looks like, and I encourage you guys as we go along here that try to make stuff and make things that didn't exist before. I just think that's so cool, and it makes the world a better place when you don't just kind of mooch off of what other people have created, but you go out and you create stuff, and you add something that's so cool, something that only you could have created. And I love that. And wow, these speaking of something only I could have created, man, that is hideous. See, sometimes our creations, aren't the best, but sometimes they're fantastic, and the world needs it. The world needs what we're making or what we've got in our heads. And far too few people do stuff about it. And honestly, never before in the history of the world has it been so easy, right? Like there's never been the ability to do this where you can just kind of dream something up and then just a random person has the ability to make these things happen. Like that is super, super cool. So all right. And I appreciate of all the game companies, I really appreciate Nintendo's ability to be innovative and fresh and have a polish on their games and bring things to life in a way that no one else seems to be able to do, and in a fun way, right? Like I am, there are a lot of really quality games out there, but if they're too like realistic or if they're too I don't know, dark, oftentimes I don't enjoy them as much, right? Because uh, I like seeing happy things in my fantasy worlds as opposed to sad things. There are lots of sad things in life, and so to have sadness in my fantasy games, that's a little hard to stomach. But I do like, like Nintendo has a way of like, even if you look at like Zelda stories, for instance, they can have some darker moments, but there's like this common thread throughout um, that there is truth and goodness, and that good will prevail, right? And I like that. I think it's a good message and one that I fully support because I think that message is one that also makes the world a better place. And I appreciate that. So I appreciate Nintendo for that sort of outlook and their approach. So he's got a lot of detail on his shorts and his whole body, honestly. And I'm going to just be awful at it. Um, as I mentioned before, I am not that great with the human form yet, but I intend to practice it more. So basically, that being said, whether I spend 15 minutes on this or an hour, it probably still won't turn out super well. I need to practice and practice and practice and practice, and then maybe after a few months, come back and try to draw him again. So, anyways, I think I'm going to call this one done at this point. Um, Overall, I decently like him, right? Like I think the face was better than I was intending. It doesn't necessarily look like Shulk, but again, getting the exact right facial features is a hard skill, and you got to learn that over time. The hand obviously is ridiculously ugly, and you might notice that the bottom half of his body is significantly larger than the top half. Proportionally, it doesn't make sense to have this size of legs on that size of body. But that's just that's just a character I made. Also, over here on the left, you can see he is in a much more action-driven pose. He is mid-motion, and you can feel that anticipation. Whereas my guy just feels very static, like he's just standing there. There's not that anticipation in the image. So overall, I'm going to give this a solid 5 out of 10. I think it's very middle of the road, especially for I think what I'm capable of and honestly what I want to be capable of. And yeah, I think overall excited to play as Shulk. Sadly, I didn't do him too much justice here, but hey, that's another character down. So excited for Super Smash Bros Ultimate. That game is going to be totally amazing. Calling it now. Thanks for joining us, guys. Bye.